Salem, Oregon Supreme Court said on Thursday that 10 Republican state senators, who organized a record-long strike to select the bills related to abortion, transgender health and arms rights last year, could not be re-elected. The decision supports decision of the Minister of Foreign Affairs to disqualify senators without voting under a voter-approved precautionary measure. Last year's boycott lasted 6 weeks, longest and legislative session in history of state paralyzed, and stopped hundreds of invoices. 5 deputies filed a lawsuit against the foreign minister's decision. Sens.Tim Knopp, Daniel Bonham, Suzanne Weber, Dennis Lirthicum and Lynn Findley. We do not openly agree with decision of the Supreme Court, Knopp said. Knopp, Senate Minority Leader Rob Wagner, President of the Democratic Senate, welcomed decision. Today, decision of Oregon Supreme Court means that legislators and public now know how to apply Measure 113. And this is good for our state, he said. The political advocacy groups that supported the Measure 113 had similar reactions. Alejandro Queral, General Manager, Oregon Public Policy Center, said, relatively few deputies allow majority to invalidate will of majority, and this is at damage our democracy. During oral discussions in front Oregon Supreme Court in December, senators and lawyers of state wrestled on grammar and syntax language added to state constitution. After 113 measures were approved by voters, the amendment said that a deputy was not allowed to work for period after the election after current time was completed. When the discussion ended, if a senator ended in January 2025, they would usually want to be re-elected in November 2024. So could run to re-election this year, and they could work for another period before became appropriate. Although language of change is uncertain, information and explanatory expression given to voters in ballot clearly stated that intention was to maintain task of office deputies in next period. Other materials clearly informed that voters will immediately apply for the next task conditions and that understand and aim this meaning. Senator's case. Last August, the re-election of boycott senators was disqualified. All parties in case sought clarity before the deadline for application for candidates who wanted to run in this year's elections before March 2024. Senate Minority Leader Knopp said that he did not plan to appeal the decision or disqualified by 3 Republican senators and disqualified from the ballot. Republican senators. Important turnover would be difficult, but did not worry, he said. Although it is banned from re-election, the Republicans would not advise long marches in the future. He said, I think the legislative bodies should be based on the principles they believe in. And if you believe enough to sacrifice, you should definitely do it, he said. Knopp added that he was not sure what to do after the end of the 2024 period. Who knows if T.